the activation energy experimentally by conducting the experiment at different temperature, and for we have to hold for different time to see how the fraction transform. Now for this, for example, if it is austenitization kinetics, you have to measure through isothermal kinetics. Then you have to know prior hand what is the temperature beyond which I have to go. That is one thing. You need to have multiple samples, and you also are not sure, as with first heating rate also, you are not sure whether the transformation is starting before that or not. Before your desired temperature at which you want to measure the kinetics, it is starting or not, you do not know. Those uncertainties are there. For isothermal kinetics, these uncertainties are there. There are multiple number of samples required. Those things are there. Then, for this reason, we many times use non-isothermal kinetics, non-isothermal process to measure the kinetics and corresponding activation energy. Few examples can you give? Non-isothermal meaning you are not holding at a particular temperature and seeing the transformation. You are changing the temperature at a particular heating rate or cooling rate. And you are seeing the transformation. Where do you do that? Any thermal analysis, experiment you do? DTA, DSC, where you heat at a particular rate or cool at a particular rate, fixed rate, and see the transformation. Diatometry, you heat at a particular rate or cool at a particular rate, you see the transformation. For example, the people who did phase transformation lab, they have found that delta L by L is varying with time or temperature like this, that it was increasing because of thermal expansion. Suddenly, when austenite starts forming, it showed contraction. And when austenite finished forming, it again increased. For this, they did not need to know what is the transformation temperature of austenite prior hand. Through this one thing of just continuous heating till a certain very high temperature, they are not bothered about to find out a priori that what is the austenite temperature. That is one thing. And also, through one such curve also they can find out kinetics, non-isothermal kinetics. That is, when I say kinetics, it is the activation energy of the kinetics. Also, they are not bothered about whether before reaching to that temperature transformation already started or not. They just prepared at a particular rate. Before I mentioned the same thing if you do for isothermally, you just go quickly to a very high temperature and then measure delta L by L and see the contraction, and you find out this length divided by the whole length. So draw horizontal line, this is A, this is B, this is C. Then your fraction transformed at a particular time. At that time, fraction transform will be given by AB over AC. Okay, this is the fraction transform. How will you find out fraction transform here? First you have to find out where the transformation started At what point the transformation started? How to find out that? You draw a tangent on this line. So where from it starts deviating from the tangent, that point, that will be your start austenite start temperature of austenite formation. You draw a tangent on this segment. What is this segment? This is again linear expansion because of thermal expansion. Linear thermal expansion, it is increasing, but this is one phase and it's austenite phase only. Before that, ferrite cementite. So full austenitization happened. So how to find out that temperature where full austenite formation finished, where it is merging with the tangent, that one. Those temperatures I am talking about. If I draw temperature in the x-axis, those are the corresponding temperatures. In between these temperatures, say for example at this temperature, there are austenite present and there are parent. If you start with martensite, it will be martensite. If you start with ferrite cementite, it will be ferrite cementite. So your starting phases and the product phase both are present at this temperature. How will you find out at that temperature what is the fraction transform? You extend this tangent line, you extend that tangent line, and this will be ABC, and your AB over AC will be fraction transformed at that temperature. That means at that point your AB is 0. Your AB keeps on increasing. At this point, your AB is equal to AC. That is full transformation. So you can this way find out how one fraction is transformed is varying with temperature in this temperature range. That you can find out by at any temperature by doing this lever rule type of thing. In DTA experiment, after calibration, you get this type of peak. DTA or DSC, you get this type of peak. How will you find out fraction transformed at a particular temperature if your temperature is increasing this way? It will be if it is well calibrated, if the curve is calibrated like this, then it will be this area divided by the whole area. At a particular temperature, fraction transform can be found out that way. Usually it is seen that for DTA DSC experiment, this peak temperature corresponds to the maximum reaction rate. Your reaction is happening, reaction meaning transformation is happening from one phase to another phase, and where the rate of this transformation is maximum, that's where you get this peak temperature. That is the usual observation. So this peak temperature corresponds to DSC in DSC DTA to the maximum rate. How will you find out maximum rate? Your rate is d alpha d. Previously I wrote y as fraction transform. Interchangeably for this class I am writing alpha as fraction transform. So do not get confused. This is alpha is fraction transform. So when we are writing, rate is actually this one, isn't it? David, wake up. Rate is d alpha dt. You can write is at d alpha dt as temperature and dt dt. Now, what is dt dt? You are heating, say, at a constant rate. Say that constant rate, say heating rate or cooling rate, say let us, for our class, let us define it as phi. that is constant. For a particular experiment, DTA, DSC or dynatometry, you heat it or cool it at a particular rate. dt is phi, so we can write phi d alpha dt. This T is with temperature. With temperature, how? The alpha fraction is varying. That's what you can measure at various alpha value, at various temperature value. At various temperature value, you can measure alpha. What is this? This is nothing but alpha. At various temperature, alpha can be found out this way, and that d alpha dt multiplied by phi is equal to your rate. And where this rate will be maximum? When ddt of d alpha d or maximum rate will correspond to equal to 0. So these are few basic information I wanted to let you know about non-isothermal kinetics. Now we will discuss how to find out the activation energy for this type of experiment or this type of experiment. So there are various types of models available to find out activation energy under non-isothermal kinetics, non-isothermal case. And those can be, there are various, we will discuss few, okay. And among those few we can divide those models, non-isothermal kinetics models, we'll categorize into, one is say model fitting type of model. That means you need to know the function f alpha or g alpha prior, and the other types of models are model free type of model. Means you do not need to know the exact form of the f alpha or g alpha. What is f alpha, g alpha? You remember g alpha equal to kt. That is the integrated rate equation form. So g alpha equal to kt, and your f alpha equal to, like d alpha dt, we wrote rate is equal to k times f alpha. Remember? So those f alpha, g alpha forms you need to know a priori, or you need to know the exact form to get the activation energy for this type of models. Here you do not need. So we will discuss direct differential type of direct differential. We will discuss Coates and Redfern model, and here under model 3 we will discuss I'm writing the Kissinger. Kissinger is a very popular model for finding out the activation energy for DSC DTA type of experiment. Ozawa, Klein and Wall model. Born and Braun model, and another we discuss about Friedman model. So our general form of equation is, say, rate equation d alpha dt equal to k f alpha. What is k? Equal to a exponential. Please pay attention because these are important. And if you miss this, then it will be difficult for you. And we also saw that d alpha dt equal to, what is d alpha dt? Phi times d alpha dt. So I can write phi times d alpha d temperature is equal to a exponential minus e over RT f alpha so d alpha dt is a over phi exponential minus activation energy of the process multiplied by f alpha. Your alpha is varying with temperature, so I am just separating the variables at both sides. Variables of alpha and temperature. Now this integration 0 to alpha, this integration, because your temperature is varying, you have this. So if your A is constant and you are heating at a constant rate, you can take this out, A over phi, 0 to temperature exponential minus E over RT. This integral 0 to temperature, 0 temperature to certain temperature, exponential minus E over RT dt. This integral is called temperature integral. There is no solution of this integral, but there are like approximation solutions of this integral. This integral also is called exponential integral. So you have noted down these things.